Day 1. The police, armed to the teeth, enter the Miller family's house and arrest 13-year-old Jaime as he is suspected of committing a murder. While driving to the police station, Detective Baskin is very kind to Jaime, explaining that he has the right to request a lawyer. At the police station, a guard asks Jaime routine questions before processing his arrest. Jaime can request the company of an adult, and he asks for his father. However, before meeting him, he is taken to a cell. Detective Baskin explains to Jaime's parents that their son needs to undergo blood tests, and that the young man requested his father be the responsible adult to accompany him throughout the process. A nurse asks Jaime, who is now with his father, a few questions. The boy assures his father that he didn't do anything, and his father is certain that this is all a mistake. The lawyer, Paul, who was assigned to the case, introduces himself to the Miller family. He tells them that he is there to help and will let them know as soon as he has more information about the case. Paul meets with Detective Baskin and Detective Frank, who explain the situation to him. Then Jaime is taken to have his mugshot taken, a blood sample drawn, and to be checked for injuries on his body. Afterward, Paul meets with Jaime and his father to explain that the interrogation is about to begin. He also tells them that his job isn't to find out if he committed the crime or not, but simply to help him through the process. Mr. Miller wants to speak with the lawyer, as he believes this is all too much. Paul responds that if the police acted this way, it's because they must have some evidence, but he doesn't know anything either. Before entering the interrogation room, Mr. Miller tells Jaime that this is the only time he will ask him if he did anything. Jaime assures him that he didn't. They enter the interrogation room, and after a few questions about school and his friends, the detectives ask him about Katie, the girl who was murdered. Jaime says that he barely knows her and has never seen her outside of school. However, the detectives have a video showing that the night before, Katie and Jaime had an argument, and he hits her. The evidence against him is the video and Jaime's sneakers, which were found with traces of blood, indicating that he is guilty. When the interrogation ends, Mr. Miller hugs his son, and they both cry inconsolably. Day 3. The detectives go to Jaime's school, which happens to be the same one where Detective Baskin's son, Adam, studies. They talk to Yade, Katie's best friend, hoping to get information, but the girl is very upset, and they don't get anything. Then they enter Jaime's classroom and tell the students that if they know anything, they should approach the teacher, who will help them get in touch with the police. Afterward, they go to Adam's classroom, but just as the detective begins to speak, the fire alarm sounds and everyone has to evacuate the school. Outside, Yade hits Ryan, a friend of Jaime's. She is furious and knows that he had something to do with her friend's departure. Ryan is taken to the nurse's office, and Baskin takes the opportunity to talk to the boy, but he doesn't get any help from him either. Adam seeks out his father and tells him that he can help him because he sees that he is very lost. Although Detective Baskin has been looking into the Instagram profiles of Jaime and his friends, he doesn't understand the dynamics of social media or the hidden meanings behind each message. Then, Baskin tells Frank that they had misinterpreted the students' Instagram profiles and that Katie was bullying Jaime. He also says that he is going to talk to Ryan again, but when he gets to the classroom, the boy escapes through the window. Baskin catches up to him and asks him about the knife that Jaime used to kill Katie, as they are still looking for it. Ryan feels cornered and confesses that the knife was his, but he never imagined that everything would end like this. Then Baskin takes Ryan away. 7 months later, a psychologist arrives at the detention center to evaluate Jaime's violent behavior. They meet and talk with familiarity, as it's not the first time they've seen each other. She is interested in understanding Jaime's perspective on the role of men, but after a few questions, he becomes enraged and tells her that he is desperate in that madhouse, that he would prefer to be in a normal jail, and that she can't tell him what to do. After calming down, they continue the conversation. Jaime admits that he asked Katie out, but she made fun of him and said that she wasn't that desperate. He tells the psychologist that she was a bully and that the emojis in the comments that Katie made on his Instagram hid messages to make fun of him. Finally, the psychologist tells him that this will be the last time they see each other, but Jaime doesn't take it well and starts shouting again. He tells her that he doesn't want her to tell the judge anything he told her. The security guard enters and takes him away, while the psychologist looks very affected by what what happened. 13 months later, it's Mr. Miller's birthday, and it seems that the situation at home is improving. However, Lisa, Jaime's sister, enters the house and tells them that someone wrote a swear word on the truck. They call the police to report the situation, while Mr. Miller tries to erase what they wrote, but he can't. Just then, some young people pass by on bicycles and insult him. He decides to go to the hardware store because he needs to clean the truck as soon as possible. On the way to the hardware store, they make plans for after breakfast to recover the day, as it's Mr. Miller's birthday. At the hardware store, the young man who assists him recognizes him because he has seen him on the news. He tells him that he supports his son and recommends painting the truck because erasing spray paint is very difficult. As he leaves the hardware store, Mr. Miller sees the young people who insulted him while he was trying to clean the truck. He catches up to one of them and tells him that if they bother him again, they will regret it. Completely out of control, he grabs the can of paint he just bought, pours the paint over the graffiti to cover it up, and gets into the truck. While driving back home, Jaime calls his father to congratulate him on his birthday. He also tells him that, as his trial will be in a few days, he is going to change his statement and plead guilty. Magda and Lisa, who also hear the conversation, greet Jaime. They arrive home and Magda cries desperately. Jaime's parents talk about the upbringing they gave their son and don't understand where they went wrong. They both believed that they were doing well and don't understand how their son was capable of doing something so horrible. Lisa interrupts them and suggests watching a movie at home. Magda accompanies her to prepare popcorn, while Mr. Miller enters his son's room and cries inconsolably on the bed. He kisses a stuffed animal as if it were his little boy and apologizes, knowing that if he had paid more attention, none of this would be happening.